Hello, welcome to the stream. If you are new here, I'm Jared. I am a Rubyist. I don't have a funny way to say it today. I've been writing Ruby for about 8 years, and I really like the language. I run a consultancy called Super Good Software. We build e-commerce storefronts primarily using a framework called Solidus, which is a Rails engine, which makes it exceptionally flexible to work with. That is not what we're doing right now, though. Today we are doing Advent of Code problems. So I've been working through the Advent of Code. We are doing day 16 when it drops in just a few minutes. We did the first 5 days using TCR, test commit revert, where I would test drive all the code I was writing, and if my tests passed, the changes would be committed, and if they failed, the changes would be reverted. That was a really fun experiment. But in order to focus more on the problems and in the interest of letting me go to bed at a reasonable hour and actually complete the problems, we stopped doing that after day 5, though you can find those first 5 days on my YouTube. Alongside that, I am with each problem working through a local group called Whiskey Dev puts together a whiskey advent calendar. Today's whiskey is not showing on the screen. Technical difficulties. Sorry, I had to restart my computer, so I lost some things. Today's whiskey is a Scotch, 28-year-old Invergordon Duncan Taylor 1990 sherry cask. The tasting notes for this one just said tasty. And yes, it has very unique flavors to it. It is. A lot going on there. Very woody, very sort of caramelly finish. Very interesting. Not sure it's my favorite yet, but I do like it. We have 4.5 minutes before we get started. I should probably just start like 5 minutes before so that I don't have to kill time. But if you have any questions, I am here. Otherwise, maybe I'll just ramble about things. Who knows? Speaking of getting set up, I did not get set up, so I better turn my M1 MacBook on so that I can SSH into it, as we will be doing all of the puzzles on the M1. And I can... Alright, sorry, there we go. That's up and going. Love a good ramble. Who's in the chat right now? It's 2 of you. I know there's one more out there. Not just Mamesy. Yesterday, we came out with a solution for part 2 that took 30 seconds to run. Mostly, I just wanted to write an enumerable class because I wanted to. Kind of nice being able, you can just include enumerable and implement each, and then it just works. And since we were looking for the certain element in arrays, I could store all the state inside my enumerable and the logic to produce the next result. And you kind of get to write. The thing that I kind of like about it is that you write each as if it's just like a procedural thing, and you call the block that you're given with each one, and the magic of enumerable takes care of making sure that actually works. So you can be like, give me the next 3 elements, give me the next 5 elements, whatever you want, and everything just works nicely. So that's good. It wasn't the most efficient. Mine kept track of more information than it needed to, allocated more objects than it needed to. One of my friends and moderator on the channel, Jay Hawthorne, had a solution that didn't sort of reordered the operations so that he didn't need to keep track of as much data. I tried to refactor it at the end of the call. Too much work in my brain at the end of the stream, and was unsuccessful at doing that. So I just left it as is. 30 seconds isn't so bad, as we still have a couple minutes before the problem drops for day 16. There's a fruit fly or something flying around. It's one of the downsides to having all these plants is sometimes they got little friends with them, but we live with them. Let's keep it clean in here. There are quite a lot of plants in here. There are 22 or something. A lot of them. It's nice having plants around. In the spring, I recognized that I was going to be spending a lot more time in my office this year, and sort of made it a lot nicer. Made sure I have Mega Man. Whoop, that's the wrong direction. Make sure I got Mega Man hanging out with me, watching my back. Got Mega Man back there. Got a Vault Boy. I got Mole from what's it called, from Thunderbirds. I think the mic is blocking it, but it's there. All right, 30 seconds. Another sip of this very interesting scotch. Yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about it. Lots going on though. Very interesting. Day 16, ticket translation. As you're walking to yet another connecting flight, you realize that one of the legs of your rerouted trip coming up is on a high-speed train. However, the train ticket you were given is in a language you don't understand. You should probably figure out what it says before you get to the train station after the next flight. Unfortunately, you can't actually read the words on the ticket. You can, however, read the numbers, and so you figure out the fields these tickets must have and the valid ranges for values in those fields. Dog's here. Roxy, come here. You want to come say hi? No, she wants to go curl up on her bed. I'll try and get a dog cam eventually. You collect the rules for the ticket fields and the numbers on your ticket and the numbers on other nearby tickets for the same train service via the airport security cameras together into a single document you can reference. The rules for ticket fields specify a list of fields that exist somewhere on the ticket and the valid ranges of values for each field. For example, a rule like class 1 to 3 or 5 to 7 means that one of the fields on every ticket is named class and can be any value in the ranges 1 to 3 or 5 to 7, inclusive, such that 3 and 5 are both valid in this field, but 4 is not. Got it. Each ticket is represented by a single line of comma-separated values. The values are the numbers on the ticket in the order they appear. Every ticket has the same format. For example, consider this ticket. Here, question mark represents text in a language you don't understand. This ticket might be represented as 101, 102, 103, 104, etc., etc. Of course, the actual train tickets you're looking at are much more complicated. In any case, you've extracted just the numbers in such a way that the first number is always the same specific field, the second number is always a different specific field, and so on. You just don't know what each position actually means. Start by determining which tickets are completely invalid. These are tickets that contain values which aren't valid for any field. Ignore your ticket for now. For example, suppose you have the following notes. It doesn't matter which position corresponds to which field. You can identify invalid nearby tickets by considering only whether tickets contain values that are not valid for any field. In this example, the values on the first nearby ticket are all valid for at least one field. This is not true of the other 3 nearby tickets. The values 4, 55, and 12 are not valid for any field. Adding together all of the invalid values produces your ticket scanning error rate. Consider the validity of the nearby tickets you scanned. What is your ticket scanning error rate? So I gotta reread that. So this is saying 4. This contains a 4. Okay. All right. Seems reasonable. Day 16, part 1. Make sure I understand the format of this. So we have a bunch of rules, we have our ticket, we have a bunch of nearby tickets. So we're definitely gonna want a parser for this of some kind. So let's test parsing this input. That's better. Adjust things a little. So I'm going to say this should return a hash with your ticket is going to be nearby. It's going to be an array. An array of arrays. We can just steal this. And so and finally we need our rules. Rules is going to be a let's say class. So we'll map the strings to an array of ranges. Seems like a halfway reasonable way to do this. I have a question. So let's say I got a range, 0 to 3. Can I like, without? There's no way this returns like a real thing. As amazing as that would be. Yeah, I have to convert them to arrays. Okay. If you could do intersections of ranges, I don't even know what that would do. I don't even know what kind of object that would return, but it would make my life easier. We could probably implement such a thing. But we don't need to. Okay, so we'll run that, and apparently we have failed to put a something somewhere. $23 is there we go. This is not really a class, this is a module. Okay. And we can, we'll say rules your nearby equals input, and we'll split it on double new line, and then we want to binding.pry and make sure that that works the way we intend, and it does. And then we can sort of start to break these things up. We can say we're going to return an object. It's going to have rules, and we can say parse rules, and it'll have your parse your, not good naming, but we're not here to do good naming, you know? Wow. Okay, and then we need to give ourselves some methods that do things. So rules will take the rules and return an array. That's parse rules. Parse your will take your and return also an array. And parse nearby. Oh, rules is supposed to return a. An object, whoopsie. Nearby, this can also return that. We'll fix that. And of course, now we have something vaguely similar to, let's put, for readability, let's use the same order that I used in the test, because keys in Ruby hashes do have an order. They didn't used to, but they do now. They are in the order that they were defined or added consistently. Okay, so nearby, we're going to split them on the new lines. We're going to throw away the first one because we don't like it. And we are going to map them to I guess we can reuse some logic here. So we'll say parse ticket. Ticket. Okay, and that looks like it has the right values in it. So then we can move on to parse your, which is actually just parse ticket. So let's get rid of it. Oh no, it's not. Haha, it is not. It's actually the same logic as that. Except that we always take the first one. And it's your. There we go. Oh. Lovely. So yours parsing, nearby's parsing, and finally we just have to parse rules. This is rules dot split on new line do rule. Then we're gonna want to do something like name. How are we gonna do this? Let's get so we can say name and then ranges equals rule.split on this, and then we want to say map, and then we're going to take, so this is going to be a range in here, and range is there, I think we have a way of can we like convert an array to a pair to a range somehow easily? Let's go in the wrong direction. Custom objects and ranges. Doesn't look like anything. New, begin, end. Oh, we can do that. Yes. Range.new. And we want to go range.split it on that and map it through to I. Cool, parsing's done. That's not beautiful code. And that's okay. So, now that we have a parser, so this thing says ticket scanning error rate. Okay, I think we can do that. So let's set up our test. We use this. It'll assert. Thank you. We will assert that produces 71. And so we can come up with a set of all valid values pretty easily, I believe. Let's just get in here. So we can say, so we've got input rules. We don't actually care about these, so we can take the values, flat map them, or sorry, flatten them, and what's the way to do this? Flat map reduces every possible. We could even avoid duplication or use a set. So, valid nums is this. And we want to take all of the nearby, input nearby. We want to flatten them. And some what's called valid nums. That's not the right number, is it? Expected to get 71. Okay. Expected 71, got 213. Interesting. Why did this not work? 4, 5. Well, I guess we can. So we're expecting 4, 55, and 12. 4, 55, and 12 to be. Oh, I've done this backward. I did my condition backwards. I counted all the ones that were valid. Heh. Oopsies. So here we are. I think that passed. Yes. It's just my part 2 is erroring, but that is fine. That is not what I meant to have on my clipboard. That's not the right answer. You're right, it's not. I guessed user, and now you're gonna be like, you guessed too recently. Oopsie. Welcome, Hoth. Good to see you. How are you enjoying today's scotch? I don't think I would buy a bottle of this, but I really, it's very interesting. Very deep coloring, very kind of woody. Yeah, definitely a different. All right, so we were right. Apparently I modified day 15 at some point. Whoops. All right, now let's move on to part 2. Now that you've identified which tickets contain invalid values, discard those tickets entirely. Use the remaining valid tickets to determine which field is which. Using the valid ranges for each field, determine what order the fields appear on the tickets. The order is consistent between all tickets. If seat is the third field, it is the third field on every ticket, including your ticket. For example, suppose you have the following notes. Based on the nearby tickets in the ticket above, the first position must be row, the second position must be class, and the third position must be seat. You can conclude that in your ticket, class is 12, row is 11, and seat is 13. Once you work out which field is which, look for the 6 fields on your ticket that start with the word departure. What do you get if you multiply those values together? Interesting. I can't write a... They haven't given me enough stuff to do a test with this. Rude. So I'm going to throw away my part 2 test, I guess, so that it stops yelling at me. So I would going to produce a method that returns the valid nearby tickets. I'm going to paste my solution into it by accident. So nearby, I'm not going to reject it, so reject each, what am I doing? Ticket, ticket dot all, or dot any, or yeah, no, all. That's what I want. And then I'm going to test that. And valid nearby contains a reference to, oh, I didn't pass, I missed the argument on this block. Cool. That looks conceivably right. As long as it's fast enough. I'm not taking the most efficient way of doing that, but that's fine. So I guess the first thing that I want to know is if so I take it that every position can only be one of them, potentially. Seems, I guess we can verify that pretty easily. So I want to produce a mapping of indexes to their names, I guess. Or I guess just the names. Because I can, that's easier, yeah. So I can zero loop over them and try and figure out which rule each one is, I guess, as long as they can all only be one. They can be different things, then I am in trouble. So I'm going to write a method that says values at index grab all of the so then we want the nums equals values at index. At this point, we can do binding.py. I guess we want to do find name. Can you do find on a hash? Do I have to convert it to an array first? Name ranges, and then I want to say, so I've got nums. I want to say nums.all. This logic look like nums.all ranges.any dot include n. That looks like it works. Uh-oh. That one doesn't. That one got departure location again. All of the numbers in the column fall into one of the ranges for that rule. I think that's what I've written. It's not pretty. That's for sure. Oof. For each rule, I'm gonna write a test that calls it with this. It's not gonna make any assertions, but that's fine. That's not helpful. Am I still running part 1? No, I'm running part 2. Oh yeah. So it prints the solution, and that's not helpful. It doesn't print the other thing. So we should... Well, that is wrong. Things say all are that one? Okay, what the heck am I doing wrong? So, 3, 15, and 5. So, 3, 15, and 5. They don't all fit into class. So something's obviously horribly wrong. Discard those tickets and fail. Use the remaining valid tickets to determine which field is valid. Using the valid range for each field, determine what fields appear on the tickets. The order is consistent between all tickets. Based on the nearby tickets, the first position must be once you look for the 6th field on your ticket that start with the word departure. What if... I don't remember the tickets, the instructions saying anything about that. Discard those tickets entirely. Oh, did I? I thought I was discarding those. I thought that's what my valid nearby did. Oh yeah. So I'm looping over values at index only gives me the ones for valid tickets already. There's definitely something wrong with my logic here, so I'm sure, I really think, I'm strongly convinced there is currently. So name is class, that is ranges, nums is an empty array, that's highly suspect. What is index? Index is 0. That's very interesting. I've obviously made some hilarious mistake because this is empty. What did I do? Valid nearby is empty. Well, that's suspect too. Come on. Really? That's... You should all be valid. What have I done wrong? It's a set of numbers. Oh, I'm rejecting. Very nice. Very nice. Yeah. Nice catch, Hoth. Now I get something that could conceivably be the right answer. Oh, and we can check whether this thing is right. Row, class. Damn it. So we're not quite there. Because it's deciding this can be class. Which, okay. 18 is allowed, 5 is allowed, 9 is allowed for class. So that means they're not necessarily unique. That's a problem. But presumably we can get to it by process of elimination. Because, so 9, 1, and 14 fit in there. 9, 1, and 14 fit in there. But not there. So in this example, both the second, am I missing something? 9, 1, and 14 could be either of these. And so could 15, 5, and 9. Have I forgotten how math works? So 3, 15, 5 doesn't work because the 3 doesn't fit in here. Three, 15, 5, 3, 15, 5 fits in this rule. 3, 15 doesn't fit in this rule. So this has to be, oh, so this has to be row. So row's taken. Okay. So the 9, 1, 14 doesn't fit into this one, has to be this one. Interesting. So we do kind of have to process of elimination of it. Or do we? Or am I just... Why am I not getting the right result? should be row class seat. So 9, 1, 14. Not fit in there. 18, 5, 9. 18, 5, 9 does fit in there, but it would have already been taken. Okay, well, we can remove possibilities as we go. I guess it's the right answer on puzzle, but does it actually get us the right thing? List fields or something. So I want to check if get a rubular out. I want start of string. That's gonna get mad at me, but that tells me what I need to do. So we say if it's a number. Not the right number, though. Oh, I'm supposed to multiply them. That's a much bigger number, and one more likely to be right. No idea how to wait 16 seconds. Not the right answer. Sadly. Interesting that it produced a result, though. It was departure, right? Oops, what am I doing? Fields. This is the test. I've got no values in there, so no reason to believe this is that I've done this correctly. So I guess one strategy we can try is to loop over it, look for columns that can okay. I think I got something. So we're trying to produce this fields object, which is an array. Let's just copy this. That's not the right way to do that, but that's how we're going to do it. Say until fields.all. We are going to do some work. So this down here, this works. We can produce a set of fields or an array that contains the fields, then we're good. So for this one, we're gonna use very similar logic. So let's just copy that in. But we're going to loop over them, and we're going to say next, fields dot each with index. Technically, all we care about is the index, though. Well, that's not true. Not true. So we'll do next if field, just to say we've already solved this field. Otherwise, we will do we'll get the values at this index. Rules dot select plus hits. If hits.length equals 1, then we are going to delete that rule. We are going to set fields index to equal that hit, and can carry on with our lives. Why does it return the number 1? Oh, I know why it returns the number 1. That's fine. Hey, there we go. So how that worked was that we just kept passing over the set of the indexes we hadn't figured out yet, and looked for indexes where all of the rules at that or all of the values at that index across all of the nearby tickets matched only one rule. If that was the case, we assigned that rule, we removed that rule from our list of rules we were looking for, and we just passed over the list repeatedly until we found that. That turned out just brute forcing it like that was plenty quick for this. So yeah, commit that. Day 16, part 2. We'll even push this one up. I think I've not been pushing them, so gotta pad that GitHub activity graph. But thank you everyone for coming to yet another one of these. I will, as usual, I will be back again. I may not be back again tomorrow night. In fact, I'm gonna call it now. I'm not going to be here tomorrow night. I have a staff party. So, you know, a socially distanced one. Zoom staff party. So things will resume on Thursday, but thank you again for coming, and, you know, don't forget to like, favorite, and subscribe or whatever, you know? See ya.